Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's try to understand how to find sum of digits of a number until sum is single digit. So let's try to take some sample input. So let's take the input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I try to add all these digits 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, I get the value to 15. So if you observe here, 15 is a double digit number. So again, I'm supposed to further add these two digits. So 1 plus 5 now if I add, I get the value to 6. Now output for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 6. Similarly, let's try to take other two examples 1, 2, 3, 4 and 8, 9, 2 where the answers are 1. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 it is 10. So 1 plus 0 it's 1. Again for 892 it is 19. Again 1 plus 9 it's 10. Again 1 plus 0 it's 1. So how we are supposed to find this? So let's take the example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first what we are supposed to do, we need to find sum of digits of this respect to number. So if you haven't watched my previous video sum of digits of a number, I'm adding it on the top right corner. So you can go watch that and come back to it. So basically what we will be trying to do over here. So first you extract this value 5. So add it to sum and remove the value. Similarly, just take this value 4. So add it to sum, remove the value 4. Similarly, you do with 3. Similarly, you do with 2. And similarly, you do with 1. So basically, until your number is 0, you are supposed to do this process. So once you got the number to 0, so then we have our final sum. Okay, so we get this sum to be 15 whenever number is 0 only. So after that, again you check your sum is greater than 9 or not. If it is greater than 9, you keep on doing the same process again and again. So now what shall we do? So what we'll be doing is, so first let's write the logic of sum of digits of a number. So while our number would be greater than 0, before that let's take sum initialized to 0. So we'll be adding our sum with our reminders. So number modulus 10. So if you want to extract the last digit in that respect to base decimal, so do modulus. So if you want to remove the last digit in the same respect to decimal base, you divide by 10. So this is how you get the sum of digits of your respective number. So after you find this sum, if still your sum is greater than 9, you are again supposed to do the same steps. But at that time, what should be your number? At that time, our number should be 15. Again, you need to start your sum to 0. So what I'll be doing over here is I'll be writing one condition. So that condition would be if sum is greater than 9, so then what would I do? I would initialize my sum with my number and I'll go with my sum to 0. So here if you see, first 5 plus 4 you get the value 9. So next 9 plus 3 12. So after you got the sum to 12, you are not supposed to do for 12. We need to do for 15, right? So when you would get the entire sum, we would get the entire sum whenever number is 0 only. So I will write this condition. So when my number is 0 followed by sum should be greater than 9. So if you observe here, these two steps would be same as the steps what we are trying to initialize in the beginning. So this is how it works. So num equal to int of input and sum to 0. So these two values, what we are trying to do, we are trying to take it from the user. Here number would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sum would be 0. But here in this condition, what you are trying to do, your number would be 15. Again, you are going with sum to 0. So nothing but these two steps were only repeated over here. So by adding this condition, so this loops keeps on repeating until our sum is single digit. So let's try to keep the same code in our Visual Studio and try to observe. So I've created a file called sum until single digit.py. So let's read the input from the user. So num equal to int of input. So initializing the sum value to 0. So while number greater than 0, so we would add our reminders to our sum. So which is number modulus 10. At each and every step, you remove one by one digit. So when you are supposed to do, so we are supposed to check when my number is 0. So when my number is 0 only, I would get the complete sum. So then I would check if my sum is greater than 9 or not. If my sum is greater than 9, what I would do, I would initialize my number with the current sum. What did you got? As well as after that, you again reinitialize some value to 0. So again now number would be 15. So sum would be starting from 0. So again now you check for 15. Again you get 1 plus 5 to 6. Again number to be 0. 6 greater than 9? No. So this condition got failed. You come outside your while loop, and then after that you just print your value of your sum. So let's run this code and check. All right, let's give the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 6. So going with the value 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1. Let's go with the example 892. So the answer is also 1. So maybe if I take some large number, still we would get the answer to be a single digit. So this is how it works, guys. Let's try to understand what is the time complexity of this program. The time complexity of this program would be order of log base 10 of n. So why log base 10 of n, I would say? So when you are trying to divide your respective number, so when does division comes into picture, by default log would be added to our time complexity. That's the reason log 10 of n is our time complexity. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.